Hey you guys, Mark Daniels Jr. just wrapped up the 4th stop of the FLW tour down here on beautiful Lake Eufaula. I'm gonna give you guys a recap as to what I did, areas I fished, and kind of how the week went for me. I only had 3 days of practice for this event. I've never been to Lake Eufaula, although I only live 1 hour from here. I just found that out earlier this week. So I'm gonna be spending a lot more time down here as the future kind of progresses, but I pretty much focused in on the southern end of the lake down there by the dam. There's a really big creek worm down there called Patala Creek, and I had a few brush piles that I found throughout the week, and then I was also fishing docks, and so that was my primary patterns this week, and that's predominantly how I caught my fish. Got really lucky and caught 2 big ones on day 1, and that really helped out my bag. Let's talk about baits and rod and reel selection. This is what I caught my 2 big ones on. And this is an old Standby by Zoom. It's called an old monster. The color is red bug, and it just catches them. If you can get this in and around that brush, this is a good bait to throw. It's very weedless and it comes through really well. Throwing this on a 3/8 ounce Eco Pro tungsten weight here, 15-pound Seaguar Tatsu line. This is a 7'4" medium heavy Kistler Helium 3. And the reason I like that, I like the little bit of tip on there. You can pick up a lot of those really light bites, and you can really pull the trigger on them when you're unsure. So having that medium heavy allows me to pick up on a couple extra bites that I wouldn't necessarily have felt. Reel selection, this is a CI4 Chronarch by Shimano, 7/6 gear ratio. As always, when you're fishing any sort of heavy cover, when you get bit and you get hooked up, you need that fish coming, because if that fish turns his head and gets down in that brush pile, you can hang it up. I caught 2 really big ones on this setup here, and that anchored my bag on day 1. Also what I was doing was I was swimming a jig in the shoreline grass. This bite didn't pan out that great for me because all throughout the week they're constantly dropping the water level, and the more they dropped the water level, the more the fish pulled out and went to the brush piles, which I didn't locate many of those, and so it kind of worked against me. But this is a Lockjaw Jigs bullet head 3/8 ounce swim jig. This is a bad little bait right here. Caught a lot of fish on it this week. It's all chewed up. I got a Z-Man's swimming crawl on the back of this with that Elastex technology. Not even a sponsor of mine, but this is just a great little trailer that I like putting on these swim jigs. Caught some really big ones in practice, but once again they dropped that water, so this bite kind of went downhill. Last but not least, this little dude right here saved my life. I have my good old spinning rod in my hand, the fairy wand, whatever you guys want to call it. You can make fun of me if you want, but when you're out here fishing for a living, it's all about catching fish, catching keepers, and weighing 5. And so 8-pound line here, Seaguar Tatsu, 7-foot Kistler Helium 3 spinning rod, medium action, and a little trick worm, a little weightless trick worm on a wacky rig. Skipping this deal around docks literally saved me. I caught everything I weighed on day 2 on this little deal right here, and had it not been for that, you know, I don't know where I would have finished. So that's pretty much what I did down here on Lake Eufaula. There's a lot of other ways you can catch them. Obviously, guys are out on ledges and brush piles catching really big bags, but once again, with the unfamiliarity of the lake and not knowing a lot, you know, that's what I kind of had to default to, and fortunate for me, it worked out. So I finished in 33rd place, cashed a good check, and I got some more valuable points headed toward the Forest Wood Cup, and again, that's what it's all about. And so we're gonna keep grinding, and I'll see you guys at Lake Chickamauga. Be sure to follow me on social media, Instagram, Mark Daniels Jr., Facebook, Mark Daniels Jr., my website, markdanielsjrfishing.com, and last but not least, Circuit Breaker. Episode 1, is already out there. You guys be sure to check out episode 2. It's gonna be coming, Lewis Smith Lake, and I'll see you guys on the water.